I tried to do spicy almonds and they weren't really interested in them, but the squirrels were, and I was like,
Hi, this is D2 Bites, a show where my guests and I serve up quick conversations over snacks. Today we have Laura Lentchitsky, our local SEO guru.
hi, thanks for having me. And on ice cream day too.
Okay, so let's dive in and let's talk about SEO. What's the latest happening with SEO that we need to know?
Google and Bing are using different AI-powered chatbots to come up with responses to people's queries. And it's sort of changed how the search engine results page looks because it takes up a lot of space right under the search bar. And it will pull from different places on the internet to come up with a response. So people can either read it and get their questions answered, or they can just scroll down and then they'll see the results page as they're used to.
That's really cool. How is that affecting whether or not people visit the website, if Google's already going to, or Bing is already going to tell them the answer?
I think that was a big topic when like snippets were coming out of like, oh no, this is gonna, my organic traffic is gonna tank because no one's gonna come to my page. They can get their result, they can get their answer right from Google. And maybe they might, but I think for more specific questions that they might have, or if they want to learn more, then they're still going to need a place to go. And if it's for like a company, if they get a question answered and it points them to something, then they're going to still need to reach out and go to a page and maybe fill out a form or get a phone number and things like that. So I think that for more interested people, or if they want to learn more, there's always going to be the people who are going to click through.
How is this changing how we're attacking like overall SEO strategy? Are there best practices we still want to maintain, or are there some that we're changing?
Yeah, all of the core SEO principles are still in place. You want to make sure that your site is running as technically sound as it possibly can, that the site speed is good. You want to make sure that you're using keywords. I think that what is maybe going to, what you'll want to pivot with a little bit is maybe coming out with content that is more straightforward in its language, because all of these search engines are going to need reference material to come up with their responses. They're not just going to pull it out of your brain or your mouth of how you talk about your company, but they're going to look to your website and articles that are written about the topic, and that's how they're going to pull all of their information.
How does this affect our MedTech clients? Because I know our MedTech clients, their target audiences are not like your average user. It's more technical audiences who already have a ton of knowledge, and they don't need to be spoken to on like a very basic level because they are coming into this as experts themselves. So how is that affecting how like med tech companies should be writing their websites?
I still think that you can talk at the level that your audience is at, whatever level that they are, and still write it in a way that a chatbot could grab it and use it. So maybe it's in shorter segments. And even when you're writing for like a white paper or a report or an article, that might be more long form paragraphs, but a website, you're going to want shorter paragraphs with headlines. You're going to want to make sure that the page is structured accordingly so that it's very easy for Google or another search engine to just pull out exactly what it needs to. If there are big chunks of copy throughout, it's going to be harder for it to. And not that it wouldn't necessarily still do it, but you want to make it very easy. You want to really spoon feed the search engine.
The search engine, yes, treat it like a child.
Exactly, yes.
And MedTech usually has a ton of jargon. So how are we advising our clients to approach like jargon on their websites?
Yeah, definitely avoiding that. I think having a really good understanding of what people are searching for and what their intent is going to help you out. Looking to stuff like Google Search Console to see what queries people are entering when they actually land on your site, and looking at keyword search terms to see the volume of the search of how many times the search term is being searched a month. And marrying all of that together, adding in the context of what you know about your audience and what you know about your company and your products, and then figuring out what makes the most logical sense. And then not trying to optimize for every single keyword on every single page.
Yes. Where does human-generated content fit in to all of this?
There's always going to be a place for humans in this world. As I don't think AI is going to take over, at least anytime soon, knock on wood. There are so many examples right now of just humorous ways that AI has messed up an answer to a question in like the silliest ways. So it's not really there yet. but it's learning and it's just going to get better. So we need to feed it with content. So you have to be using Chrome and you have to be signed in for it to pop up. But if you Google D2 capabilities, it'll actually list out some but not all of our capabilities, and it actually does a pretty good job. But then again, like it's not pulling just from anywhere. It's pulling from our website and from our content and what we've put out there in the world. The other thing that I've been thinking about with this is that if it's looking at I think that content needs to be unique and not easily duplicated, because if it's looking for the answer to a specific question and you're the only company that's put out an article that focuses on that specific question, then when somebody searches for that, they're going to reference your article. But if you write the most generic high-level thing, then it could pull from any and all things, and then you get washed out.
What's something that, as throughout your years of experience working with MedTech clients specifically, have you seen is one thing that you're always telling your clients to do? Because for some reason MedTech starts out getting it wrong and then they come to us and then they get it right.
One thing that I'll see is trying to rank for terms without considering the context of who is searching for it. Like if it's a specific procedure, yes, a surgeon might be searching for that, but just as likely a patient is, or maybe a caregiver. So ranking very high for something that a lot of people are searching for, but it's not the right people, I think that's where the missteps happen.
That's good to know. What's another misstep that generally happens with our MedTech clients when they're like, oh, we want to be the #1 search result that's happening? How do we do that?
Expecting results to come very fast. It can take a few months for any SEO changes that you've made to your strategy to actually start to move the needle. And then also to expect everything to just, once it goes into place, it's going to be green, 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 improvement, 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 and then that was the last that you ever had to touch it. So it's really not a one and done thing. You're constantly having to go back and look at your keywords and look at how you're performing and how you're ranking and how your competitors are ranking, and refresh your strategy.
How often do we usually have to optimize with both tactically and then overall strategy?
We recommend scanning a website every month to look at the technical performance and to see what needs to be fixed, because if your site isn't performing well, Google's less likely to recommend it. And then doing keyword refreshes every 3 to 6 months or as needed. Sometimes there's big spikes in keywords because of trends or news, press, things like that. So the more that you're on top of it, the easier it's going to be.
How do budgets usually come into play when you're talking about optimizing a website that's not doing its best at any point in time?
If you're just working with your current resources, your time and your talent, then maybe that would have to make sure that you're hiring the right people, the right team that have the experience and can support everything, that you are investing in software that can do all of those things to your website and make good recommendations and can monitor everything and give you the insights that you need. If you don't have that, but you have some budget to spend, you can certainly hire an agency that will provide that extra support to the team to do it. Another thing to consider with budget, if you need to rank for something very quickly or at least appear at the top of the search engine results page, you can always pay for it.
Thank you for answering all of our SEO questions.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.